coming together of two long-running New Zealand sports sedan series. The Open Saloon Car Association, better known as OSCA, was launched 30-odd years back. Used to be a strictly South Island series. And then there was the North Island Kiwi Sports Sedan, started about 10 years ago. In the last few seasons, they've joined forces under the OSCA name. And now the merger is paying off big time. Witness this final round of the Printstop OSCA Super Saloon Series at Manifield. This fourth North-South Challenge meeting of the series attracts a 30-strong entry.
Hi.
And that comprises a hugely varied field, ranging from old-school heavy metal V8 through to the odd Porsche and a bunch of late model turbo cars.
Class is all about, you know, late model Japanese cars, old thumping V8s from the old school days, you know, a bit of Kiwi ingenuity, people playing with their cars at home and come to the track to have a good time and some serious racing. The class is growing quite rapidly, like we've had 7 cars come up from the South Island this year, so we've got more and more people joining in as the name gets out there and we promote the class. So it's just a PR thing, and we just want to basically make it a cost-effective class for people to come and race at a reasonable speed.
Jones himself runs a potent Mazda RX-7.
Well, it's home built by me, obviously, with help from a few people. Mazda 13B Turbo, the old rotary V8 feud still lives on, so we're looking forward to some close racing, and hopefully the V8s will see a rotary in their revision mirror, hopefully.
So you don't think you're going to see them off, eh?
Oh, I would like to, but it's a big ask, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
As long as you can stay close.
Oh, for sure, mate. We'll be as close as we can possibly be. Yep.
South Islander Evan Munt is carrying on a family tradition that dates back to the early days of OSCA.
Yeah, well, basically, obviously, OSCA was started at South Island in about 1972. It's run pretty well there for a number of years, and we came up here about 5 years ago just for a bit of fun to run at Manifield, and the Kiwi Sports Sedan class was up here, and we thought, well, they're pretty similar, so we had a bit of a chat with them, and we figured that the best way to go forward was to make the class one big thing together so we can all run under the same rules. So, yeah, it's going well.
He's not only keeping the family name in OSCA, he's doing it in the same Chev engine Capri that his late father started racing in the mid-1970s.
Yeah, well, that was built in 1972. Oran Park was its first race meeting in Aussie. Raced against the likes of Peter Brock and Vic Johnson and Moffat and all those sort of fellas. Yeah, Dad bought it in 74. I think it was, bought it over here in 76, and it raced right through to 1990. He won the championship once in 77, and we got it out about 4 or 5 years ago and put it back together and having a bit of fun. It's going well.
Your dad would have liked that, eh?
Yeah, oh, well, yeah, he always told me I wasn't going to get in the seat, so might be looking down on me thinking, holy hell, but, you know, we'll see. Doing all right.
What does that do to the opposition running cars like Cameron Jones' RX-7 and stuff?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of friendly rivalry goes on. A few of the guys just say, I don't think they can believe that a 35-year-old car can still keep it up there. Yeah. But she's a good old girl. Goes well.
And Munt isn't there simply to make up the numbers. He's second in the New Zealand standings, behind Andy Greenslade's much newer car. Well, it's 15 years younger anyway.
Well, it's an older Trans Am car. Yeah. It's an old girl, 20 years old. I think it came out from the States to New Zealand in 86. Right. There's a bit of history there.
Yeah. But Tauranga rookie is wrapped with OSCA.
Oh, it's a great class to race in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good starting point. I mean, this is only my second season, so it's
really?
Yeah, it's a friendly class. Everyone wants to get the cars on the trailers in one piece, which is nice. Yeah. It's nice to race against lots of different cars, but I think it's good from the spectator point of view too. You know, makes it interesting. Good mix.
Even one of the founders of Kiwi Sports Sedans, Graham Barnes, is happy with the way it's been successfully absorbed into the new OSCA.
Well, in those days there used to be about 120 cars racing at a club meeting, you know, on a Saturday, and some of the faster cars got better and better and better, and we sort of outgrew the club level, so we wanted something a little bit better. That wasn't going to cost an arm and a leg, and you know, most of the cars in those days in Kiwi sports were home-built, New Zealand home-built race cars. And it's quite amazing some of the technology that'll come out of a guy's shed, you know. And that's what it was all about, and trying to get some of the old sports sedans and things like that, like the car I own now, get them out of the sheds and that sort of thing as well.
It's the fastest off the front for the first of the Printstop races here at Manifield. Andy Greenslade's in on pole position, but getting a poor start, and Cameron Jones ripping off the line there in the Mazda RX-7 and grabbing the lead away from him. In third place, Tony Oliver in his Impreza. That's the ex-Ross Rutherford car out of Super GTs. And check this out. What a field we've got here. And such a dissimilar bunch it is too. But out front, these three running away already. Now that is a bit of a turn-up for the books, because Cameron Jones in qualifying yesterday was 1.6 seconds slower than this man. In the bedroom, his car, Andy Greenslade, was very, very quick. There's Grant Dalton in his Porsche GT3, Harry Dodson there as well in his Skyline, and there is Evan Munt in the orange and white Capri, still back midfield, left a bit behind in qualifying yesterday. So out front, Cameron Jones getting a little bit of a break there, leaving the fighting behind. You can see Jeff Washburn's older Commodore going through there, and here a good fight. Tony Stewart on the outside, Mark Burgess out of Wellington on the inside, but look out, here comes Greenslade down the inside of Jones. This is for the lead, and it looks like that Chevy power is going to come to bear against that 13B turbo rotary inside Cameron Jones' car. Jones now going to go to the inside. Let's see what he's got. Definitely got this car running a lot better than it has in the first 3 rounds of the National Champ, but he hasn't got the legs to come down the inside. Let's see what he can do under braking. Coming down into turn 1, no, he has to pull in behind Greenslade. Greenslade had a big battle in the last round with not this man, but with his brother, Darren Greenslade. Unfortunately, after qualifying pretty well yesterday, Darren Greenslade was out with a busted motor in his Mustang, so not running up here today. He would love to be in this battle, you can bet. But Cameron Jones really keeping the pressure on through the infield here. Palmerston North driver, so this is his home track. So trying to use his, trouble here for Ashley Anderson, Stanton driver. Another RX-7, the Batmobile just turns around at the hairpin. Oil on the track, maybe from his car, who knows, lots of smoke. And he's a bit lucky that he does end up off the track, and now Adrian De Croix also striking that oil, no doubt. And here's the other Nissan Skyline, has got safely past that Harry Dodson. Also Jeff Washburn and the older Commodore coming through there. Oh, and trouble in the background. That is Mark Burgess in trouble. We saw him racing Tony Stewart before. Maybe he's had it coming together. Got suspension damage, I would say. And that brings out the yellow flags. No question that he's in a dangerous spot there, just around the corner. As the lead is looming up on him, Andy Greenslade has eked out a bit of a gap on Cameron Jones in that second spot. Oh, and he's fast approaching the spot where that car is stranded. Well, he's got safely through, and Jones as well, but a bit of a hairy moment there. And the Greenslade has slowed down dramatically. I think he thinks there's a full course yellow, but it's just yellows in the area of that stranded car. Cameron Jones could take advantage of this as they come to the checkered flag, and there is a bit of confusion with those 2 lap cars ahead. Look at Jones, come on! I think he got him right on the line. Poor old Andy Greenslade, I'm sure he thought there was a full course yellow out because of that RX-7 stuck on the back straight, and Cameron Jones knew better and really took advantage of it and got that win. Great stuff. Here's Harry Dodson coming through 4th place behind Tony Oliver. Confirming the results, then Cameron Jones does get one up for the turbos over the V8s. Andy Greenslade at 2nd in his Camaro, then Tony Oliver in the Impreza, Dodson in the Skyline, Washburn in the Holden, and Dalton in his Porsche. Back at Manifield, they're ready to roll for the second race of the weekend in the Printstop OSCAs, this final round of their national championship. That's Jeffrey Nicholson out of Bay of Plenty on pole position in his RX-7, and alongside another Bay of Plenty man, Paul Tanner in his little Toyota Levin. And Tanner getting the better of a problem here. That's the number 84 car, Brent Ingram, stalled the starlet on the line. That is oh so dangerous. And you can see the second group, the split reverse grid, with the pack coming off the back. Let's hope they've all seen him. Oh, that's got to be scary sitting inside that. And everybody remarkably gets safely through. Not surprisingly, the race is red flagged, and this will be another complete restart as Brent Ingram goes back to fix the car up and I guess have a bit of a change of clothing there as well, because that was scary. Let's see if we can get the same start. Paul Tanner off the line, well again in the total of bin on the right. And yes, looks like he's got the job done. There's the second group going, 5 seconds back, and such a varied field in the midst of that. The white Commodore in the lead of this bunch, that's John Telford in a borrowed car actually, just trying to keep up the points here because his Mitsubishi GDO's out of action. The Volvo, the number 61 car, Dave Agnew going very wide. A very wild machine this one. 4-cylinder turbo power, the same as the Skylines in the midst there. There's the Subaru of David Gunson, the blue car, going very quickly with Cameron Jones, I think it is, right on his tail already. And he's tracking Harry Dodson. All the contact there with Grant Dalton in the Karcher Porsche GT3. Dalton just trying to get as much racing as he can in these days before he heads off to America's Cup, and David Gunson heads off to the infield. A bit of a kiss on that wheel has probably done him some damage back there. Look at this field down the back straight. The number 85 car, the very wild Dallas Green V8 RX-7. Then there's a little Chris Coleman Mini, and there's Daniel Udi's Mustang just tracking along in front of the number 12 car of Chris Hatton out of Blenheim, one of 7 South Island drivers here for this race. Dave Agnew in the Volvo, if you can recognise it as such, off to the left there, just in behind Daniel Udi in the Mustang, and this big fight going on. Ian Booth in the V8 Altezza, that's a Targa car that he's brought to racing in OSCA, and Chris Coleman in that wild little Mini. Fantastic little car that it is. It's even been stretched about 100 millimetres to accommodate a longer wheelbase and let it handle the 12A Mazda rotary power that's under the bonnet. Very, very quick little car, really hounding Dave McNaughton's Mazda RX-7 at the moment, as he in turn takes the pressure from Ian Booth and Dave Agnew, plus Daniel Udi in the 65 Mustang. Looks like the race is run for Chris Hatton though. Gets out to have a look underneath that wild-looking little Toyota LeBin. Daniel Udi copping pressure now from some of the fast guys. On the left, that's Graham Barnes and his Capri. And there is the number 1 of Andy Greenslade, the Chevy Camaro, that's gone on through past Barnes. There's the Toyota Altezza of Ian Booth just hanging in there. And behind him, just a bit further back, Evan Munt in the orange and white Capri, looming up as well. So these fast guys now starting to make big progress through the field. Led by Andy Greenslade, this man in the number 1 car. He knows he's got to do a steady job here, really. Probably 3 second places would stitch up this national title for him. That'll be his 2nd in a row. That's a worthwhile aim. He's right in behind Dave Agnew now, and he'll find that 4-cylinder turbo Volvo quite a quick little car. And of course he's got a whole bunch of other quite quick little cars just ahead of him, including the Sierra RS500. But Cameron Jones up ahead of him. He's the guy that's got through the traffic best out of the back markers, and he's now taken the lead away from Paul Tanner, the man we saw start on the front row of the grid. So Cameron Jones trying to make up for a pretty poor season so far. In 3 rounds he hasn't scored enough points to put himself inside the top 10 coming into this meeting, but has done a very good job of it so far here, and looks like this one he may run away to his 2nd race win of the meeting. Got about a lap to go after this, so across the start-finish line he'll have his fingers crossed, everything crossed that he can spare as he gets open a decent lead. A runaway on these guys, looking back to the 69 Commodore coming down now. John Telford out of Danny Burke at the wheel of that one, and then there's this big fight. And Greenslade is starting to get through there. He's got the Sierra. He's got the Ford Escort of Rob Mitchell. Well, nearly he got squeezed out between him and Dave McNaughton's RX-7. That forced him back a little bit. And that gives Fred Stratton in that RS500 Sierra a little bit of a break ahead of Rob Mitchell in his 12A rotary Mazda-powered Escort. Chris Coleman in the Mini just behind him. Now that's a sad sight. Slowing and now pulling off onto the infield. Evan Munt going to park the Capri by the look of it. So he's 2nd in the championship to Andy Greenslade, who's gone on. Now we've got Tony Oliver turning around his Impreza, that ex-Ross Rutherford Super GT car. Very, very quick. But this is the guy that's going to take out the honours, Cameron Jones. Running to the checkered flag. You cannot see anybody behind him. That's how good of a run he's had through the traffic ahead of this man, Andy Greenslade, coming through to take 2nd place. That's all he needed. He needs 1 more of those today, and he's going to take the title. Oh, and this guy, Paul Tanner, the front row starter, hanging in ahead of Harry Dodson and Brett Stratton to take that third place. Another whole bunch of cars coming through. Dave Agnew's Volvo, Graham Barnes, and look at this. Not bad handicapping, you'd have to say. Cameron Jones, though, turned out to be the traffic meister and took this one out, running right from the back of the pack.
Yeah, it seems the old Mazda seem to get off the line a bit better for some reason. We're got a bit of an advantage with our 6 gears, obviously, compared to the V8 4s, but yeah, we just can't for it to be any better this weekend, eh? I'm over the moon. It's been a long road and it's finally going properly.
Did you feel the heat coming from behind?
Not really. I had a quick look a couple of times today. I think I paid the price yesterday from watching the mirror too much and we made a few silly mistakes and Andy caught up. So I was trying to like bend it away so I can't see.
You really have to peel your way through the traffic, don't you, eh?
Yeah, that's what makes it interesting though, doesn't it, you know?
Yeah.
It's all part of it. I've got to learn to push through a bit more, I suppose.
But what happened with the handicap with this Cameron Jones guy? I mean, he was gone.
Yeah, he got a good start.
Yeah.
He's got a good start. You know, he's certainly good at getting through traffic.
Yeah.
Good on him.
How you been going placings-wise?
Back of the field,
Really?
handicap suit me better. So it come off, paid off.
You really had your finger pulled out in that one, didn't you?
I had to. Those fast cars coming behind us, they rattle us around.
Confirmation of the second Jones Green Slade 1-2 of the weekend, ahead of Paul Tanner, Harry Dodson in the Skyline, Brett Stratton in the Sierra, and John Telford in the Commodore. The final race of this Printstop OSCA New Zealand Championship about to get underway here at Manifield. Brent Ingram in the little Toyota Starlet Turbo getting off on pole position on the left. Alongside of him, Jeffrey Nicholson in his RX-7. Then it's Dave McNaughton on the left and Paul Tanner getting underway. Now John Telford, but look at Rob Mitchell blast that little rotary engine Ford off the line. Ian Booth leads away another line in the Altezza. Now Daniel Udy does likewise alongside Brian Gray and Tony Stewart, both in RX-7s. Udy really putting the power down. You see the two Capris of Munt and Barnes getting underway now. Washbourne on the left in the Commodore, Dalton on the right and DeCroy in his Skyline, then Dodson and David Gunson in the Subaru. Gunson getting a good start there. Now it's Tony Oliver on the left in his Subaru up against Cameron Jones, and look at Greenslade booted off the line in that Camaro. He gets in the lead of that group. That could be critical in the outcome of this race later on as they thread through the traffic. Meantime though, Brent Ingram doing a great job out front of that little 1300 Turbo Starlet, still running ahead of Dave McNaughton and Paul Tanner. Check out the wild-looking Mazda RX-7 V8 on the left there. That's Dallas Green right in behind Rob Mitchell. Oh, and a good fight going on here. Ian Booth in the Altezza holding out Dave Agnew in that number 61 Volvo. Tony Stewart as well, just tucked in behind them. Let's see if Stewart can get anything on him down the back straight, but no, doesn't look like it. Booth was, after all, just 0.2 of a second faster than Agnew in the qualifying session. Tony Stewart was faster than them again, so he will probably be the man to move on by both of them. And now does so, gets alongside Agnew without much trouble whatsoever as they come off the corner and just has superior power down the front straight. In the background you can see looming up on the right Evan Munt and his Capri, so some of the other faster guys soon going to be joining this group, I think. So Tony Stewart very keen to be using the power from that triple rotor rotary to try to get past Booth as they now pick up Dallas Green in that V8 engine Mazda RX-7. The Taranaki chicken farmer having a few handling problems by the look of it as he works his way through the infield. Not far behind the front row starter Jeffrey Nicholson's RX-7. Out front though, Brent Ingram still doing the job ahead of Dave McNaughton and this man, Paul Tanner in the little Toyota, then John Telford in the Commodore and Rob Mitchell in the Escort. Now we're back with our fight with Dallas Green, still holding off the Altezza at the moment, and Tony Stewart, while Jeffrey Nicholson just gets out of their way in that RX-7 on the infield. Stewart now really moving it down the back straight. And Dave Agnew on the outside of him. There's Evan Munt looming up behind Chris Coleman's Mini. The Mini suddenly coming on strong against the Volvo, looking down the inside. But the Waikato driver's going to have to give way pretty soon to Evan Munt, pouring on past, I'm sure. Munt was worried before the start of this race that the dip was going to give out on him. The boys in the team did a good repair job, So far she's holding up, but he did figure he might only have to use a couple of gears in this race. Looks like Jeff Nicholson's race has run. The man who started off the front, oh, and look at the power go down. That 5.7 litre Chevy putting its power down onto this Manifield track very effectively. Starting to edge away a little bit from Dave Agnew even. These two arch rivals from the South Island series certainly left Chris Coleman behind in the mini, no problem. Now let's see what he can do about Tony Stewart up ahead and the rest of them for that matter. So Munt, a retirement from the previous race. Very personable young guy out of Christchurch, following in his late dad's footsteps, now getting alongside Ian Booth in the Altezza as Tony Stewart maybe finally going to get past him as well. So Stewart trying the inside line, Munt going around the outside. Here we go, wait for it. Yeah, Booth gets sandwiched as they go down the back straight. Dave Agnew lining him up as well. Then in the background, the red and black Capri of Graham Barnes also showing up here. So the Capri's coming to the fore in this race as he gets in behind Dallas Green's RX-7. No problem whatsoever. Moves him up to 6th place, but it's another Christchurch driver. This man, Dave McNaughton, now putting the pressure on the leader, Brent Ingram. So he slides right up on him. Oh, and another South Islander in trouble. That's Jeff Washburn in the Commodore that also used to be run by Evan Munt's dad. McNaughton not making so much ground up on the infield. The little starlet really working well. Ingram just locking a wheel there as he goes through the hairpin. Now maybe McNaughton will get a chance. Oh, look, Brett Stratton, the Turbo Sierra out of this one. Very, very smoky into its day. Oh, look out, here comes Evan Munt. We're on the last lap. There's only half a lap to run. He's got Dave McNaughton for 2nd place. More importantly for the championship, though, Andy Greenslade is right behind him. Remember, he needs 3 second places, he figured, coming into Mansfield to take the title out for the 2nd year. And it looks like he's going to do it. He's 3rd at the moment. Oh, but hold on. Ingram is hanging in there through the last corner, but now comes the power of the Chevy. Yes, cannot be denied. Now the battle is for 2nd place. Can Greenslade get it? Yes, of course he can. He's done it. He's won the title as well. But Munt is a very happy man. Here comes Cameron Jones in 4th place, ahead of Tony Stewart and Dave McNaughton. And look at the field coming through. Great handicapping, you'd have to say, and a great win for the old girl. She is an oldie, but she is a goodie.
You weren't that optimistic you were going to survive that race, were you?
No, I thought we'd be a bit slow because the diff I thought would be a bit too tall. But in the end, I didn't even use 4th gear. The 2nd and 3rd the whole way around the track, and it was suited perfectly. And I just chucked it in and got it through.
All of that in a car that's nearly 40 years old.
Exactly. I think most of the guys just can't believe it, eh? They can't believe the old girl still goes. So yeah, I'm stoked.
So 2 titles back to back. Did you think you were going to do that at the start of the season?
I thought there was going to be some strong competition. There were some reliability problems with a few of the cars, which was a real shame. But yeah, that's what motor racing is all about. You have to keep them running, don't you? Yeah, so we had a good season. I've got a fantastic crew. Got to thank Dan and John while I'm here. Thanks, guys, for putting in all the effort to keep the car running.
You had to keep your nose clean. You had to finish the races, didn't you, when you came here?
Yeah, that's right. We didn't want any damage, and we didn't want any DNFs, obviously. Yeah. We still needed some points to win it. So 3 seconds for the weekend. That's okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy enough with that. Yep.
We were leading into the last corner and trying to hold off the Capri, but just didn't happen, and unfortunately we lost too much speed out of there. That Andy was also able to pip us as well. But up until then it was going very well. Power was going excellent.
The win then's confirmed for Evan Munt ahead of Andy Greenslade, Brent Ingram in 3rd, Cameron Jones 4th, Dave McNaughton 5th, and Tony Stewart in 6th. Greenslade has confirmed the champion by a clear 81 points ahead of Munt, with Washburn 3rd, Coleman 4th, Agnew and Jones 5th equal.
informed every week with the Rugby Channel Analysis Show.